Hey, you guys, how are you doing? Today's message is titled, Don't Get Butt Hurt. This is something my significant other says, and I think it's hilarious, but it really means like, don't get offended when somebody's giving you feedback and, whatever. So don't get butt hurt. So that's the topic of today. And one of the things that I struggled with in my early years was getting feedback from people. And I took it like, it's part of my personality that I've learned, but I took it as like an attack, like there was something wrong with me and they were pointing something out. And it really had to do with my own inner critic. I am super hard on myself, always. And it has taken me a long time to see that I am not perfect, but I am a great person. And I am flawed, but I am learning. And love myself for who I am. And to really be open to learning and growing. And it wasn't until that I couldn't take feedback, whether it was from a manager or from a friend. It really stung. Does it ever sting when somebody's telling you something that you could improve on? I know, I've been there. And let me say that it really does depend on somebody's heart and what they're approaching you with, right? But we can feel that typically. I have had good friends come to me, especially over the last 6 months as I've been developing content and putting things out there, even to my videos, and giving me feedback on words that I don't say, or I say too much or too little of, or I used to say all of the time, and I am really working on that. And every time somebody brings something to me, I am so glad God has changed my heart. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do that, and I want to change. And then I pray and I work on changing it. And I'm not mad at the person for bringing it forward. Like, oh, thank you for telling me that I had that typo or that this sounded funny or whatever the case may be. Now, of course, if I felt like it was coming from a place of attack or somebody just being mean to make fun of something I'm doing, yeah, that would probably, well, I wouldn't say it would hurt me because I've chosen just not to let other people's negative opinion of me take any sort of hold. But if it's somebody that I value and I'm trying to learn from, or they are genuinely trying to give me feedback, I am all about it. I want to learn. I want to be the best me I can be. So do you? Do you want to grow and learn? Are you open to feedback from others, or do you get hostile and defensive? If you are somebody who gets defensive, try to take a look inside. Is it some of your own insecurities that are eating you up that maybe you have to love yourself on and truly embrace who you are? And we don't have to take in other people's opinions and make them who we are, right? Somebody could tell me something and I could not agree with it. And that doesn't define me. What they think of me or even what you think of me doesn't define me. But what I think of me does. And that is what's most important. What's inside of me and what I know I'm putting out into the world, and the content, the things that I'm saying are from my heart. And that's all that matters to me. Everything I do, any person I work with, it is always for their greatest good and never from a place of criticism or taking people down or any of that. And the only way we can grow is if we open ourselves up to that a little bit, to accepting constructive feedback and to just embracing learning and growing from others. And that does not mean you are less than. I surround myself with some pretty powerful people, multimillionaires, successful business women and men all around the world. And I'm not intimidated. I know that I have something to offer in a conversation or in whatever, but I also know I can learn from them and grow from them and push myself to new levels. But that comes with not caring about other people's opinions, but being open to feedback if it's valid and something that you agree with that you could work on. Just last week, I was, somebody that I don't know had approached me about watching one of her training videos and giving her feedback on it. And I watched it and it was a great video. I could see her heart, but there were some things that I definitely thought she could tweak and bring. And I prayed about it. Like, before I send this message, I want her to know my heart, because I absolutely don't want her to feel attacked or that I think it's bad, because it wasn't. It was awesome. But I also didn't want to tell her, yeah, it's perfect, no areas to improve, because that wouldn't have helped her. That's not why she looked to me. And thankfully, she saw my heart and definitely appreciated the feedback. But it is your approach on how you talk to people, how you come at them. So if you're trying to give somebody feedback, number one, is it worth it? Does it matter? Is it going to help them? Is it just like picking on them or being ultra critical of them? If it's ultra critical and it's not really going to benefit them, then keep it to yourself. But if you have a pure intent and you really are trying to help somebody grow, have a great conversation with them. Come from a place of love and compassion. When I worked in the insurance industry as a manager, when I was working with people on things in areas that they needed to develop, I never started with, here are all the areas that you're failing. I loved working with people on all the areas that they were successful, and then also trying to encourage them in the areas that maybe they were struggling. Not beat them up because it didn't go well, but love them and encourage them. So are you encouraging people? Are you loving on them? Are you supporting them? Or are you just being critical and a cynic? You have a choice. So the quote I have for today is, feedback is helpful and constructive. Criticism is hurtful and damaging. Oh, that's so true. I have been in places where I was criticized and it hurt. And those are things that stay inside of us, unfortunately. I don't know why it's so easy for us to believe lies and negative stuff. But if someone tells you you're like amazing and you're beautiful and you're super smart and like awesome, I loved your video, or I loved this, you're like, oh yeah, thanks. But if someone told you, oh, that was really horrible, or you're this or you're that, you take that. Why? I don't get it. I believe it's the enemy at work in this world. We have this negative inside of us and this positive inside of us. And a lot of times the negative thoughts can overcome us, and we really have to work hard at pulling out that positive. So if you've had people be negative to you, let it go. It does not matter. What they said about you is not true. If it came from a place of love, support, and encouragement, and you feel good about receiving it and you believe it to be true, accept it and grow from it. But do not let the negative opinions of others dictate anything you do. You are amazing and beautiful. And you may say, I don't know you personally, but I do know God. And He made each one of us amazing. And I'm sorry if somebody hasn't told you that enough. But please believe me when I tell you, you are great. Believe in the greatness, love yourself, and embrace positive feedback. So I hope you found this message helpful. I really do. If you did, please share it. You can follow me or check out my website at amandadanielscoaching.com. You can watch more videos and check out what I'm up to. And again, share this if you found it helpful, and have a fabulous day. Sending you love, light, and gratitude.